Richard Rohr, a Franciscan priest, talks about the tragic dimension of life, which is the knowledge that we all come to have that life is in some ways fundamentally broken and full of pain, and that it is still a gorgeous and an incredible gift. And we learn to hold both. As a faith, we try not to dwell too much on one without the other, to be a faith of hellfire and brimstone, or a false, denying faith of joy and unambiguous celebration. Both would deny the fullness of the life we know as true. So, we carve out this moment in service where we recognize most weeks that there is human suffering in this world in the course of natural and human catastrophes. And we ring our gong in honor of some of those places and people that are present to us today where there is suffering and struggle. We ring our gong first this morning for the losses this week to COVID-19. This last week, 11,155 people died of COVID-19 globally, 1,932 in the United States. All of this part of a worldwide tidal wave of loss that each of us still holds on to a piece of. This week, we ring our gong once, additionally naming the loss of the life of the Queen of England, but also holding all the complicated emotions her death has occasioned. Around the world, both those who mourn the loss of a leader they admired, come to know as a part of their own life's reality, but also those for whom this moment reawakens the question of the history of oppression and colonial theft. That's been part of the monarchy and its long continuing effects in nations who will not be held accountable for the sources of their wealth. The story echoed in our own nation. So for the birthing pains of reconciliation and truth, we ring our gong once, in grief and in hope. And finally, we ring our gong for the people of Ukraine, people in war everywhere, private wars of homes caught up in upheaval or in nations or between nations, struggles to wars of poverty and racism and homophobia, wars against women, and all the suffering that we need not inflict on one another, on our planet, and for all of us who work for peace and healing. We offer all of this up and our own private namings to this hour, surrounded as we are in this moment by the promise of what love and interdependence and community can awaken in us and make possible for us and for us in the world. So may we keep those we have named this morning in our thoughts and in our prayers, and may we ease the tide of human suffering this coming week, howsoever we can. I invite us to use the gong's ringing and its dissipation back into silence as the beginning of this invitation to gather ourselves, to do what we need to center ourselves. And if you are someone for whom being in motion or pacing or davening is what allows you to go deep inside, I invite you to do that. And if what you need is to center your body with your feet on the floor or eyes downcast, if that helps, do that. Do what serves you. I invite us to pay attention to this sweet companion that we reside in full time, as we always have. Feel any tension in our face and invite it to relax. Any knots and tension in our shoulders and invite it to melt. Feel any stiffness or tension in our arms dripping down from elbow to wrist and out the end of our fingers. To be aware of what we hold in our chest. Release it if it's hard, constricted. And the same in our belly, in the generative center of pelvis. Feel any tension in our thighs, and again, let it also melt down past knees and calves, through our feet. Let the world absorb it. Breathe in peace, deep peace. And breathe out love for yourself. Breathe in through the top of your head and breathe out through your feet, all you need to let go of. Set it all aside for a moment. And surrender into being. Breathe. And surrender. And let it be enough. And now I invite you back into this moment. Open your eyes if they've been closed. Do what you need to be present in this community, renewed.